I wanted to do a video about the alleged abuses of Scientology versus the actual abuses of psychiatry. Okay, what's funny is I'm not a Scientologist. I want to make that very clear. People have tried to shoot me down because I support the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, which is connected to Scientology, and Dr. Thomas Szasz was the founder of the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, and it is designed to help fight psychiatric abuse. And it does a fairly decent job, if in no other way than getting out the truth about psychiatric medicine through interviewing pediatricians, psychiatrists, psychologists, etc., and getting the truth out about the nonsensical basis of behavioral health and how it is virtually imaginary. Okay, now people might wonder, how did I learn about Scientology if I'm not a Scientologist? Why do I know it? Well, I was a Talimite when I was a teenager. I followed the teachings of Aleister Crowley. One of the disciples of Aleister Crowley was a man named Jack Parsons, or John Parsons, or John Whitesides Parsons, who was the founder of Jet Propulsion Laboratories, NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratories, before it was nationalized under NASA. Now, what's interesting is this. What many people don't know is Thelema played an important role in the formation of the doctrines that would later become Scientology. Okay? They're not connected. A lot of people try to make it sound like Scientology is Thelema. Scientology is not Thelema. Scientology's ideas are far different than Thelema's. However, I guess you would say inspiration perhaps came from Aleister Crowley's religion, and maybe L. Ron Hubbard ran with it. I don't know enough about Scientology to actually tell you that. What I do know is this. There have been a lot of accusations. Scientology is probably the most investigated religion in the world. But what I will say is the abuses of Scientology, these so-called abuses, I don't know of any. I know that they do some kooky things because they're a church. A lot of churches do kooky things. And it's funny because in our modern society, people don't understand. For example, the Mormons will shun people, okay, because they don't want people bringing down the morale of the rest of the community, okay? The Catholics excommunicate people for not behaving along the lines of a proper Catholic. Scientologists do the same thing. But however, when Scientologists do it, or Mormons, because Mormons are ostracized too, that's called abuse. But it's not really abuse per se any more than any other religion. It's a religious idea. Now, the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, which was founded by Dr. Thomas Szasz. Now, I don't agree with Thomas Szasz on everything. Thomas Szasz was a big believer in euthanasia and on legalization of drugs. I believe legalization of drugs. Hold on, let me check that because I might be a bit wrong. But Thomas Szasz was a big believer in euthanasia. I am against euthanasia for the simple fact is I think that is a slippery slope toward, euthanizing entire populations like in National Socialist Germany, which was bad. Okay. However, I support what's called the right to try. However, Thomas Szasz was 100% correct in pointing out the ridiculous, unscientific basis of behavioral health issues. There is no science there. The DSM, the so-called illnesses in the DSM, or psychiatric disorders or behavioral health disorders, are voted on by psychiatrists. If there were genuine biological causes of these so-called diseases, they would be diseases and not psychiatric disorders. All psychiatric disorders are symptoms of something else, or they are imagined by the diagnoser. One of the most horrible things about behavioral health is somebody that used to be called shy might be called autistic. And I'm not saying that autism isn't serious or that the symptoms of autism don't exist. What I am saying is people are being labeled with ADHD or autism or these things when perhaps there might be other causes. Maybe that's just the person's personality. Maybe they're just a very amped person. Maybe they're a shy person. It used to be that people could be different, but what you're seeing through behavioral health is this concept of homogeneity, that you must be the same, similar to communism. Scientology, again, I'm not completely familiar with it because I'm not a Scientologist. Like most religions, they don't put everything out there, but I can guarantee that a lot of these alleged abuses are nonsense, because you can look it up yourself. People can research Scientology themselves and see that while Scientology is accused of abuses, psychiatric medicine actually is abusing people. It is destroying people's lives. It's destroying their minds, it's destroying their bodies, and people need to start understanding that this needs to be brought to the public's attention.